Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ask YP Live Now show. This is a weekly talk show focusing on positive living, work-life balance, living with passion, success in life and business, and making the world a better place. So tonight we really have got a superstar with us. We got a LinkedIn expert, and it's my very good friend Niraj, hailing all the way from Mumbai. So Niraj, you want to say hi to everybody, introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, so glad to be here with you. YP and I have been involved for a very, very long time, so I consider him a brother. And we've known each other from D&I times. So it's amazing, yes. So thank you so much for having me here today.
Yeah. So just introduce yourself a bit, 2 to 3 minutes about who you are and what you do. Yeah.
Sure. So, third generation serial entrepreneur, lived in many countries, born in Kenya, grew up in London, and then for the last 18 years, I've been here in Mumbai, India. And in the last 25 years, I've run many businesses that have been from manufacturing to trading to service based businesses, and now online virtual businesses. So
Okay.
that's what
Wow. That
I do.
sounds like a serial entrepreneur in the positive sense.
Yeah, and I got into investing in startups as well. So I had my first ever startup get listed on the New York Stock Exchange
Wow.
this week, which was amazing.
Mm. So one of these days, I'm going to get you to come and join my boot camp to be one of the experts to share with us about investments
Yes.
too. Okay, right. So right now, what are you focusing on, Niraj?
What happened was that I was having a business coaching business, and when COVID happened, the business was an offline in Mumbai only type of business. So it was very much events based. And we quickly realized that we had to pivot online and go digital as many entrepreneurs had to. And I realized that LinkedIn was a great place. So, I sent out a small message to my community asking them, hey, if I put together something related to LinkedIn, how many of you would be interested? And like a couple of hundred people said, we would love to. So that's where I decided to focus on and pivoted my business. And I would say that now 90% of my business is coming from LinkedIn. And, it's been amazing.
So Niraj, why did you choose LinkedIn? How it happened that most of us we always tend to think of Facebook, but why LinkedIn?
So, a couple of key reasons. First thing, it is the number one business network. Facebook is, or Instagram is more, for the personal profile. Yes, businesses do use them, but if you look at it, Fortune 500 executives are consistently using a platform like LinkedIn. They have been so
Mhm.
used to LinkedIn, and Microsoft ended up buying LinkedIn for
Oh,
$26 billion. So they own LinkedIn,
what's the
and the
figure again, Niraj? What's the figure again?
26 billion with a B.
Billion. Wow.
Yeah. And why did they spend so much? Because it is the number one business network in the
Mhm.
world. It has over 800 million users. The
Mhm.
second thing is trust. Uh, Platforms like Facebook, trust has been eroded massively, especially after their Cambridge Analytica scandal. And
Mhm.
um, LinkedIn has been the most trusted social network a number of years in a row. And this is by independent, ratings agencies. So that is second reason. Third reason is that it is a fabulous place to get organic reach. Platforms like Facebook have become very much pay to play, whereas
Mm.
you can still, without having even the paid version of LinkedIn or paying for ads, get a huge amount of organic reach.
Mm.
So these are some of the key reasons. And I think the last one is that the average LinkedIn person earns, in fact, over 40% earn earn more than $75,000. So you have all these decision makers who are high income earners. So you're more likely to get much more profitable clients using LinkedIn.
That makes sense, isn't it? We are always, told by, all those gurus, marketing gurus that you got to be living or fishing in the pool where your target market is, right?
And,
So
and,
if your
and, and
target,
here, you've got the big fish.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so you're,
So,
you're more likely to then catch them as well.
so you're saying 40% of LinkedIn users earn 70,000. Is it 70,000 you said USD?
75,000.
75,000 USD and above. Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite significant. Yeah.
Yes.
Especially when you convert it into other currencies, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, how did you become a? So this is going to be a tricky question. Okay, how do you become a LinkedIn expert?
Um, I think I was already into online networking. In fact, I was a early adopter. So I got onto my first online network called Academy in the
Okay.
UK, and it would have been around 2001. Okay, and so LinkedIn only came into existence in 2000, I think 4 or 5. Okay, so
Okay.
this was a precursor to that. And when I moved to India, I didn't know anyone except one person. And I had to start a networking organization. So I relied on the online network, and it was at a very nascent stage. Internet connections were low, but I found really quality people on it that ended up becoming members of that network. And
Mm,
just by other people who attended these events and saw these people in the room, I saw them wanting to become members just because these people were in the room. So it was something that I understood was going to be very useful. And we had to use both offline and online. And I think everything got accelerated when uh, COVID 19 happened. So I had really understood networking, and I started to apply the offline networking um, principles to online networking, and they work like a treat. So,
okay.
um, you know, there is something called social selling, and for social selling to really happen, you have to become visible on a particular network. Okay, you have to then take people to a place where you can show them that you uh, are known and liked and then trusted, and it's a sequential process. So because I knew that very well, I was able to quickly begin to use that. And plus I have been using social media marketing and email marketing very extensively, to grow my previous businesses. So I used those, combined those, and I was quickly able to get traction. So
Okay.
that's exactly how it happened.
So apparently you are one of what they call the early adopters, isn't it, of social media, digital
Yes,
marketing? Yeah.
yes. I think in 2008 we did our first BNI social media, um, presentation, and I remember coming to KL, and that's when
Yes.
we met,
Yeah.
where I ran that, and I was so overwhelmed by the positive response that we got.
Hmm. So have you seen the landscape since you started until now? How has the landscape changed, or are the principles still the same?
I think it's become a lot more noisier. There are a lot more
Okay.
people who are active. I think in 2008 or even 2004 there wouldn't have been that many people.
Mm-hmm.
But I think at the same time, all of these platforms have evolved, and particularly LinkedIn has evolved massively since Microsoft has bought it. I was seeing a post of mine 10 years ago where
Okay.
I was seeing that LinkedIn had reached the 70 million user milestone. Okay, and now think about it, it's over 800 million users. So in 10 years, it's grown
Hmm.
massively. I think at the same time with these new tools, LinkedIn has got the creator mode and like to have more creators utilizing LinkedIn. publishing has become that much easier. Um, then if you're clear about your positioning and you're clear about your pitch and you're consistent, and if I come to your profile, if I'm congruent in that way with your pitch and positioning, then what happens is you can easily and quickly stand out. So, and then if you use those principles where you look to make friends, you don't try and just sell people. No one wants to be sold all the time, and then I think you're able to develop relationships, focus on building relationships, and then this is where being consistent with content marketing, being positive with your network, commenting on their posts, sending them messages, just catching up with people that you haven't caught up with for a while. That's what really helps you gain traction and stand out. At the end of the day, all of these platforms is about, what do you want to be known for? And I think you've got to be crystal clear about that.
So Niraj, you talk about commenting, connecting, and so on. Um, to me, it sounds a bit time consuming, isn't it? How much time do you really need? Let's say just using the one platform, LinkedIn. How much time do you actually need to be able to to nurture the people that you're in connection with, or to build connections?
Okay, so typically when I work with clients who are very busy, they already have many other things that they must do. They typically tend to be owner-managed businesses or
Mm,
freelancers or consultants. So they have to also do a lot of the delivery. Then I say to them that if you can carve out 20 to 30 minutes per day, then you're able to really gain traction. The main thing is consistency. So, if you're able to be consistent every day, then there's some very simple things that you can do. Which
mm,
is initially for me, it's just answer back on messages, then see who in my network has posted, leave some comments on theirs. For particular people I want to follow on LinkedIn, I like how you have on Instagram, you have a bell icon. You can actually activate the bell icon, and every time they post, you can be, they will
oh,
show up
okay.
on your newsfeed. So this is a very easy way for you to follow people who you want to follow, not just random people. Okay,
Mm,
and therefore it's very important that you intentionally build a network. I think the other thing is, send out a couple of connection requests every day. So I would suggest, doing 20 every day, and 20 doesn't take you long. Okay,
mm,
it will hardly take you a few minutes because anyway, LinkedIn only allows you to send out about 100 connection requests every week. So
okay.
it's very easy then to do. If you're doing 20, that will hardly take you, 7, 8 minutes, to do. And I think if you know the kind of messages that you want to send out, you're clear about those in advance, then it's
Mm,
easy. And then it's just posting content. You don't need to post content on LinkedIn every day. Um, I would recommend, in fact, if there's a post of yours which is doing well, then leave it time to breathe, and maybe even wait a couple of days before posting the next
mm,
post. Typically, I say to people, you want to do about 3 days a week. Weekdays, in the mornings, typically when people get started in work, those are good times to post. And if you plan these out in advance,
mm.
then this doesn't need to be time consuming. In fact, a lot of my posts are prepared, the graphics and the captions. I have a social media team that does that. The thing that
Okay.
I would spend more time on, which is I'll spend more time on long form content. So
Okay.
I have a LinkedIn newsletter, which is like a blog, but then it allows people to subscribe to it, and it's one of the new features of LinkedIn, and that allows me to um, stay top of mind, and I typically do something twice a month. and then I get those repurposed into shorter posts. My social media team then does that.
Okay, so you say social media teams means that you got people developing the content, everything for you, the creatives and the content, and they post on your behalf, or
So
how does that work?
yes, so I have, I would say, three key teams that are involved. Okay, I have a website team. Okay, that looks after my website and blog. I have a content writer. Okay, who summarizes my long form content and puts it in
Okay.
short and easy to consume content, which is snackable. Okay, because like these newsletters like having a meal, whereas
Hmm.
uh, having these short image posts or a carousel type post is like more an appetizer. So it gets repurposed into 4 to 5 of those, and my
Hmm.
team does that. So initially, the content team, the content writer, identifies the right content. I approve whatever she's picked up, and then the graphics team works on it. So that's I then spend my time more on the long form content, and then
Mhm.
taking calls and working with clients.
Hmm. Which is quite amazing in the sense that we always talk about the entrepreneur doing everything. So if you could be guided, with standard ways, templates on how to do the postings, the engagement, and so on, and then you outsource it. It makes life easier, I guess, and we handle the more important bits.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's always important, know what your flow zone is, focus on that, and outsource or delegate the rest,
Mm-hmm.
and give it to someone who is great at doing that and enjoys doing that.
Mm. Yeah, I remember you are the one that taught me about the IPAs.
Yes.
So Niraj,
Income producing activities. So
yeah.
focus on your income producing activities.
Yeah. And then, so Niraj, just to get back to the basics here, I think, can you just quickly share, for a beginner,
Hmm.
trying to get into to promote their business, most people would automatically by default, because that's what the market says, go into Facebook ads, the usual, paid ads and so on, trying to generate traffic to their website or to their blogs or to their activities. How does working with LinkedIn ads or LinkedIn compare with using Facebook? What are the differences and what are the strengths?
And LinkedIn is a much more organic
Mm.
strategy. So you can use the free version of LinkedIn, and you don't need to even invest in LinkedIn ads. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All the success that I've had in the last 2 years has come not from running a single LinkedIn ad, uh, but I would say
Mm.
there are five key things that you've got to get right. First, I think get your positioning right and make sure that your profile is optimized so that you show up on the LinkedIn search. Because
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn is also a search engine. Like you have
Oh,
Google being a search engine, there are
mm-hmm.
6.7 billion searches being done on LinkedIn. And if
Mm-hmm.
you know how to optimize your profile, you will immediately show up. Okay, when people are looking for your specialty. Next part, I think build a network of ideal future clients. Okay, so again, LinkedIn. This is where LinkedIn excels. You do not have these level of features that are available on Facebook. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so you're able to really drill down according to specific industries, job titles, locations, all even companies, previous companies, current companies, all sorts of things. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so intentionally build that network. Then you've got to become visible and credible to that network. So you can do that via messaging, direct messaging, okay, and via content. Content is your trust engine. Think of it as it helps you unpack your expertise in small bits, which are easy for people to consume, and it keeps you visible and credible over a long period of time. Okay.
Mm.
Um, and then, if you have the email systems as well set up in such a way that you have lead nurturing emails, you have sales emails, and you have a newsletter, which keeps you top of mind. You are able to move the person from being a lead to a prospect to a client very easily and naturally. And just to let you know, people check their email 15 to 20 times a day. They might be on
Wow.
LinkedIn a couple of times a week. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so if you combine LinkedIn together with email, it has an explosive
Mm.
result. In terms of leads, opportunities, and appointments.
I like it when you say that, with LinkedIn, you can be more organic and you can also target better, isn't it? As far as I know, with Facebook, you got to use paid, excuse me, paid ads before you can target a certain demographic, right?
Yeah, and then people, Facebook will see what kind of people are responding to that ad, and the
Mm.
algorithms and then the machine learning will then begin to show it to more people like that. Whereas uh, the metaphor that I would like to use for LinkedIn is this: that you will literally be able to find a needle in a haystack,
Yeah.
whereas on Facebook you can't do that. So if I know where the needles are, and I can directly contact them, um,
Mm-hmm.
that stops me from having to do ads.
Yeah. So instead of trying to, like cast your net so wide that you don't even know where it's going, you can be very, very specific, spear
Yeah,
fishing.
yeah, exactly. So, like, you're a sharpshooter, and you've got this incredible rifle that
Mm.
is able to hit the target every time, and so you
Mm.
don't have to end up spending, trying to spray so many bullets and hoping one
Yeah.
of them will land.
Yep. So, Niraj, I'm very conscious that you've got a time limitation because I know you've got you're very optimized. Remember the word? We're never busy, right? We're all optimized, right?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Yeah. So not only does Niraj gets involved with IPA, income producing activities, he's always involved with SPAs, the super productive activities. Okay. Right. So
Yeah.
Niraj, I mean, we're coming up to the 30 minutes mark, so, we've got about 7 minutes left. Maybe you should tell us, if somebody that's new, starting to build their visibility, what
Mm.
should they do in LinkedIn? Okay. If they want to use LinkedIn to build visibility, what are your tips to them, to the beginners?
I think first focus just on the profile, because the profile is the starting point for everyone and anyone. If you put a
Mm-hmm.
comment on someone's post, okay, if they like it, they're probably going to click on your profile to have a look, okay. And if
Okay.
the profile is not set up in the right way, then it so you can create attraction if you've optimized it. And I would think there are five key things that you've got to get right. The first thing is actually your profile photo. If you get your profile photo right, okay, then LinkedIn says that you will get a 21 times more response. You will get even
Mm.
36 times more messages. Okay, so having a good profile photo definitely helps. Second thing is that your profile banner, which is the background image that is there. Okay, typically most people unfortunately leave it blank or just have a photo and they have no writing text on it. So what I would say is that you want to put your elevator pitch on that, so that it gets very clear. Why should someone choose you compared to any of your other competitors? So this is how
Mm.
you're able to immediately stand out. Another thing is your headline. So the headline is something that comes underneath your name, and you should use some keywords that people would be using, your prospects, when they have
Mm-hmm.
the problems that your prospect face and they're trying to solve them. Okay, so your expertise, your solutions. Okay, it should mention those particular keywords. the most common mistake I see is people will put in their company name and their job title. Okay, that is the biggest mistake to make on the headline. You've just messed up big time. Okay, so please don't do that. Um, the about section, um, LinkedIn allows you about 2,600 characters. So you
Wow, that's a
should
lot.
frame it, yeah, you should frame it like a sales page. Imagine, think it's like a one page website, okay, where people get an executive snapshot of who you are, why they should work with you, the kind of services you provide, etc. So that's what we do. And then the final one that really builds trust, okay, is who else has used your product or service and has left you recommendations. So every time you end up working and satisfying a client, it's important that you ask them for a LinkedIn recommendation because it's like a Google review and things like that. So it works really well. It helps build trust very quickly.
Okay.
I have a resource for your
Okay.
readers and audience, your viewers. The ultimate LinkedIn profile checklist. You can get it at that particular link, lp.neerajshah.me.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, remember this, okay? If you have a checklist to make sure that you've got all your boxes ticked, what Niraj just shared about getting I use the word, the perfect LinkedIn profile for maximum visibility, and the interesting thing about LinkedIn is that you can see who, even on the free version, you can see who has seen your profile, isn't it, right? So
Yes,
when
yes,
people, rather than you go chasing for prospects, when people come and view your profile, they're interested in you, okay?
absolutely. In fact, I consistently get business through that. I'll then send them a message, say, "Hey, you viewed my profile. I'd love to connect." I'm curious.
Okay. So right, so ladies and gentlemen, please take up your camera, your handphone. I know nowadays everybody has got a handphone. They like taking pictures. So take a quick picture of that link from Niraj and go get your tool. And for those of you who are listening to the recording of this, you can also take advantage of this link and go get your LinkedIn checklist. Okay. As we come up to the 30 minutes just before we wrap up, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Come and join our group, our community. Okay, the Work Less Earn More community. If you want weekly tips, like Niraj was saying, posting a few times a week. Actually, post 3 times a week. Actually, 4 times a week. Mondays is on happiness and productivity. On Wednesdays is about health and fitness. Friday is about getting wealthy, and Sunday is something inspirational. So you want to have tips to have a more well balanced life. Join the group, and you're gonna get the tips delivered to you directly. Okay. So next week we're gonna have another speaker coming in, and this guy is Dr. Omar Fisher. He is out of Dubai. He is somebody that's really, really magical because he talks about wealth consciousness. Now, most of us will be asking, what is wealth consciousness? It is how to have a strong belief, strong consciousness about wealth that you no longer need to chase for money. Your wealth, your opportunities, everything would naturally flow to you because you have actually set up the correct mindset of abundance. So he's a very interesting person. He's been, it took me so long to get him to say yes, because he's always, lecturing in universities at all these wealth symposiums, but he's here to join us next Thursday on how to attract wealth with the right belief and right consciousness. So then next Thursday, and lastly, I'm going to leave you with this book here. For those of you who are listening for the first time, I've written a book, on 10 proven strategies to work less and more. And again, take out your handphone, take a picture of this link here, and you're gonna get your free ebook. You don't have to go to Amazon to buy. You're gonna get the free book. Okay. So with this, Niraj, I know you gotta go. Just say bye bye. Yeah.
Bye bye. Thank you,
You can
everyone, so
lock off
much.
on yeah. Thank you, Niraj, for being here with us. You can lock off, you got your next meeting coming up. Thank you so much. Okay.